Welcome back to Critical Thinking. This is a series of videos on how to have constructive public debates. Rule 48 is called Work from Common Ground. So this rule, which is from a workbook for arguments, tells you to look for fundamental beliefs or goals that you share with your opponent. There are two main reasons for working from common ground. One is that you can make the climate of the debate less hostile, which increases the probability that you, your opponent, and the audience will actually learn something. And two, it can help you clarify where your disagreement actually lies, so you can focus the issue on a more fundamental point that's leading to the actual disagreement. So this relates to a strategy or method called the double crux method. The double crux method is something that I believe was developed by the rationality movement or the rationality community. You can find a guide to it on lesswrong.com at the URL at the bottom. This is a method for two people who disagree about an initial proposition A to work their way back towards a more fundamental proposition that's leading to that initial disagreement. And specifically, the more fundamental proposition is supposed to be something that can be testable. So you start with step one, clarifying the initial disagreement. Step two is searching for that second proposition, we can call it B, about which you also disagree and that is crucial to the disagreement about A. The word crucial here is being used to mean that if one person changed their mind about A, it would also change their mind about B, and that's true for both parties. So as you can see in the cartoon, the one person is saying, if I thought B was false, that would change my mind about A. And the other person is saying, if I thought B was true, that would change my mind about A. So that's what we mean by crucial to the disagreement about A. And the thing about B is that it should be empirically verifiable or otherwise testable. So it should be a claim that, at least in principle, it could actually be tested in a way that both parties to the debate could agree upon the terms of the testing and what the outcome of the testing is. Exactly what B is will vary, not only based on A, but based on the people having the debate about A. And it may take some time to work your way back to this more fundamental proposition that's crucial to the disagreement. Now, if you find a proposition B that's crucial, but it's not testable, then you should search for a further crucial proposition that is testable. So you can just iterate the process until you find a crucial proposition that you can, at least in principle, agree on how it would be tested. And then the final step is to search for and agree on the method for testing the second proposition B. So in principle, this is a way for actually resolving the dispute in a way that both parties can agree to. So you're looking for this deeper proposition that's crucial to the debate about A, and then you're agreeing upon a way for testing that deeper proposition B. So here's an example. Vicky the vegan and Oliver the omnivore disagree about whether it is morally permissible to raise and harvest animals for food. So the initial proposition A that they disagree about is the proposition it is morally permissible to raise and harvest animals for food. Vicky thinks that A is false, Oliver thinks that A is true. However, to resolve this dispute, you'll notice that A is not directly testable. It's a claim about what is morally permissible. Now, claims about what is morally permissible you might think are purely subjective or relative. However, moral claims tend to be based on both fundamental moral principles, which it's still an open question whether those fundamental moral principles are subjective, relative, or objective. But they also tend to be based on facts. So fundamental moral principles such as it is never morally justified to cause suffering or something like that, or it is never morally justified to cause needless or purposeless suffering. And there's a whole range of fundamental moral principles. I'm not even saying that one's true. I'm just saying that's an example. In order to generate a specific moral claim, such as about the permissibility of raising and harvesting animals for food, it tends to rely both on fundamental moral principles and facts about that particular case. So in this case, what B is going to depend on Vicky the vegan and Oliver the omnivore, what reasons they have for supporting or rejecting that proposition A. But let's assume for the sake of this example that their crucial proposition is B. Animals are capable of feeling pain similar to the way in which a human infant feels pain. So Vicky agrees that if B were false, she would change her view about A. And Oliver agrees that if B were true, he would change his view about A. So that's what it means that B is crucial to the disagreement about A. And the thing to note is that it's also possible that Vicky and Oliver might modify their initial position based on to what extent B turns out to be true. For example, B might be true for certain animals but not for others, and that may cause both of them to change their position. Also, as a final note, they have to agree on a way for testing B, and that's going to be something that could be, at least in principle, tested scientifically. Now, on the one hand, it's not possible to directly experience what an animal experiences, but it is possible to infer things about their experience of pain based on behavior and neurological phenomena, similar to the way that we make conclusions about what other humans feel based on their behaviors.